Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fit with Dave podcast. And today, this video is inspired by a message that I got on Instagram about busting through a plateau. Okay, so first thing is with the plateau is you might not be on a plateau, you're just impatient. So the first thing is just to be patient and be consistent. Because you might say, oh, I'm on a plateau, or I can't get over, for guys, it's like bench press, especially younger guys. Man, I can't get over 170 pounds on bench press. Okay, how long has that been? Oh, man, it's been like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And it's like, bro, you got to give it time. A lot of these bodybuilders have been exercising for 5 years, okay, or 10 years. Okay, so be consistent for at least a year before you're really expecting a whole bunch of change. Okay. And for me, every body part was difficult to grow because naturally I did not have muscle. So I've had to learn how to develop each muscle group separately. And there, some guys like, oh man, their arms grow faster or their chest or whatever, but I had zero of that. So especially one example I'll give is of my calves. So years ago I was getting bigger, and my mentor, he's like, bro, you got to train your calves. Like, don't neglect your calves. Even if you're working out your legs and things like that, you got to train your calves. You can't just do couple little calves at the end. You got to do 2 or 3 exercises multiple times a week so that they'll grow and you'll look balanced. Okay. And you don't want to be this big guy up top and then have no legs. So I trained my calves 2 to 3 times a week, 2 to 3 exercises, sometimes 4. And they, after about 6 months, they started to grow. So every bodybuilder that I've talked to, talking to guys in the gym, it's like, man, dude, your traps or your shoulders or, your legs. I've talked to bodybuilders where, man, it's like, no matter what I do, my legs just won't grow to a certain point. So some of it is genetics as well. But 6 months of consistent training that muscle group 2 to 3 times a week is going to help you grow. Okay. And help you bust through that plateau. So that's one nugget. Okay. 2 to 3 times a week. So let's just say you're trying to grow your chest. You might consider working out your chest twice a week for 6 months. And look, if you're not even to the point where you can do a full chest workout, just get to the point where you can do a full chest workout first. Okay. What I mean by that is you might think that you're on a plateau, but you're only doing 2 or 3 exercises with chest, and you're doing that once a week. Get to where you can do 5 different exercises with your chest, doing 5 sets of 10 at a moderate weight, and then progress from there. But a lot of you say you're a plateau, but you're not really plateaued. You just haven't exhausted the muscle enough to where it can grow. All right. So that's a very, very important piece to understand, is get to the point where you can actually say that you've plateaued. So be consistent long enough, work it hard enough to where you can get a full workout in. Okay. And then if you're doing 5 sets of 10 on bench press, and then you're saying, man, I'm plateaued, then do 10 sets of 10. That's straight from Arnold Schwarzenegger. 10 sets of 10. That's a lot of reps. That's 100 reps at a moderate weight and kind of heavy weight, right? So if you've listened to my previous podcast, when I say a set of 10, I mean that 8th, 9th, 10th rep are extremely hard to get. Like, you might not get that 9th or 10th rep. That's how you know you're at the right weight. Now, if you can easily get 10, it's too light. If you can't get 8, if you're only getting 6 or 7, it's too heavy. So you want to be in, there's a fine line there to where that 8th, 9th, 10th rep are really hard. You don't want it to be too easy on that 10th rep. You're doing 5 sets of that. And then if you're at a plateau, or you feel like you're at a plateau, then try doing 10 sets of 10 on maybe just a couple exercises. You're not going to do, that might be almost your entire workout. But that's a really, really great way to exhaust the muscle. Another thing you can do is to eat a lot of calories on the days that you're training that muscle group. So if you're really trying to grow your legs, it's always a good idea to have more calories on leg days and like the day after leg day as well. But let's say you're trying to grow your legs. Let's just say you're trying to grow your back. Okay. So you want to eat a bunch of calories on the day that you do back and the day after, because the blood's going to be flowing to that area because it's sore, and your body's going to want to recover. So when you're eating, those nutrients are going to flow to that part of your body. And if there's a lot of nutrients, a lot of calories, it's going to tell your body that, hey, it wants to grow. So another thing you can do is exercise the body parts around the muscle. So if you're really trying to grow your chest, you want to make sure that your lats are strong and your shoulders are strong and have endurance, because that's typically the first thing that's going to go whenever you're doing chest workouts is your shoulders. So you want to make sure your shoulders are strong and you have endurance in that area, which means you might do a mix of heavy reps and high rep with light weight with your shoulders to increase the just drew a blank. You know what I'm talking about. So you want to do high rep with your shoulders every once in a while. And the last tip I have for you is to exhaust your secondary muscles prior to that muscle group. So if you're trying to grow your chest, exhaust your back, exhaust your triceps. That way you're not using your triceps as much whenever you're doing your bench because they're tired, or your back is tired, your triceps are tired. So your chest is going to have to engage to get that weight up. So you want to train your secondary muscles, like let's say your shoulders, or your back is a primary muscle, but train your secondary muscles, like maybe your shoulders and your triceps before you do your chest workout, so that your chest is fresh, but everything around it is pretty well exhausted. So then you're forced to use only that primary muscle around there, and try to do as much isolation stuff as you can on that muscle group along with compound. So switching it up. You don't want to do too much of any one thing. You want to make sure that you're well-rounded, doing different, flies to stretch out the chest muscle. You want to do dumbbell presses that are close, and then you want to do the different angles. You want to do wide, close. So you want to hit all the different angles. You want to do incline, you want to do decline, you want to do, flat bench. You want to hit all the different angles. And doing these types of exercises, the 5 sets of 10 and the power exercises, and working kind of strength and conditioning style workouts is what got me the strongest and the most vital. So I was able to, be pressing 90-pound dumbbells, sets of 10 pretty easily at, 145. And, it feels really, really good whenever you can do that and control it. I don't need nobody to help me spot, none of that type of stuff. So when people say they're at a plateau, typically they're not at a plateau. They just haven't given it enough time, or they haven't put enough strain on that muscle group for long enough. So once again, if you feel like you're at a plateau, just increase the intensity of your workouts, be more consistent. And if there's a specific body part that you really want to grow, just focus on it for 2 or 3 times a month 2 or 3 times a week for 6 months. And I promise you'll see results. All right, guys, that's all I got for you tonight. Love you guys. Peace.